What's going on, everybody? It's another episode of the NRW Checkpoint with the best host in gaming, your man, WebsterStyle, the man, the voice of fragrance. Of course, I'm always joined by my man, Brian Sapph. Brian, how you doing today, sir?
Doing okay.
Okay. All right. Let's start off with a bit of gaming news. You know, Sony's been real salty when it comes
Quite
to
salty.
this Activision buyout by Microsoft based off about, oh, if they take away Call of Duty, we won't be able to survive. And I'm like, dude, nobody's taking away Call of Duty. And they have continuously rebuffed Microsoft's contracts to extend the current life or current contract they have. And then reports came out that they offered them a 10-year deal to basically guarantee that, hey, if this merger goes through, you're going to get Call of Duty. Now, the thing is, Sony wants that exclusivity, which they have now, which ain't going to happen. That's a done deal. That's a
It
done deal.
is.
But yesterday, last
Mhm.
night, close to midnight, Phil Spencer himself put out this tweet basically stating that Microsoft has an agreement per the closing of the merger, a 10-year agreement with Nintendo to put Call of Duty back on Nintendo platforms. Now, the Call of Duty series has not shown up on Nintendo since the Wii U, and I think the last one was Call of Duty Black Ops. And then also, they have an agreement with Steam. And the funniest thing in Steam, with Valve, Gabe Newell basically said that we don't require any sort of documentation or long-term agreements with any of our partners. And then he goes on to say, I'm paraphrasing, Microsoft's game team has always done what they said they're going to do, and we have no reason not to trust them. I'm like, oh, shots fired at Sony. Shots fired.
Yeah, they made a statement there.
Oh, yeah. When you have the biggest digital distributor of PC games basically saying we don't have a problem with Microsoft keeping their word when they said they're going to keep this game on our platform, that says a whole lot there.
Yeah. And honestly, like I don't really understand like why Sony and PlayStation, why they so like gung ho about Call of Duty. I get it, large franchise, X, Y, and Z. But think about it. In 10 years, they are already pushing out PlayStation VR 2. In 10 years, I'm quite sure Call of Duty is going to be way less valuable than it is today. Like, just let
Maybe.
it play out. And
I agree. I
if it
agree with you
falls
totally.
off of PlayStation, I'm quite sure PlayStation owners won't. I know I won't. I just deleted Warzone yesterday to make room for new games. Like I don't care that Call of Duty is not something that is gonna be on PlayStation after 10 years. Maybe, maybe not. They might mess around and renew the contract and get another 10 years. I don't know. But I don't think it's worth all of this back and forth.
I agree. I think for Sony, it's that loss of exclusivity
Which I
with
can
like
see
a
that.
lot of those maps were on PlayStation for a year before they appeared on Xbox, and
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure Activision gives them a sweeter cut, and also got promotional rights as well for the
Mhm.
game when their current contract is done. Because I think Microsoft is still going to honor that, or it's still going to honor whatever's left on that current contract once they buy Activision. But I believe that's only 3 years,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
once that's done, that's it. But I mean, I understand why they're afraid of losing that money, but you're the market leader.
right.
Like,
And on top of that, you have exclusivity with other big name companies. If Call of Duty fall out, fine. Go find somebody else. Like this, it's not like you're not like Steam Deck. Well, they probably would do fine either, but you're not like Stadia or something like that that's like
right,
grasping at straws just to stay relevant. Like this is
exactly.
PlayStation. You are the market leader. More people play your platform than others, like you're fine. Just move on. You just
Yeah,
bought Bungie.
right, right.
If you want to be evil and be like, hey, we're gonna have exclusivity on Destiny 2 stuff for the next 10 years since Microsoft want to pull, you can do that. Like, I don't get it. I don't Call
I
of
don't,
Duty, they
I
gave
don't
me Call of
either.
Duty so much. It's not that great of a game, guys.
I agree with you. I understand how big of an industry juggernaut and that, like, going to Exotic this past weekend, one of the content creators I interviewed, they only play Call of Duty, young lady. And she just, when
Okay.
I saw it rattling off what I'm playing, I was like, oh, you're a gamer. I only play Call of Duty. Like
Okay.
that's like even people who don't game play Call of Duty. So that's how
Right.
widespread. So I understand that part of it. But let's be
As
real.
well.
Sony has enough IP in their
That they'll
back
be
pocket
fine.
that if they took that 10-year deal with Microsoft, they could develop a couple of different IPs. I mean, you got Resistance, you got SOCOM,
Hmm.
there are 2 or 3 other FPSs, Killzone, that they have had and developed over the years that, especially you got Bungie working for you now. I
Right.
mean, you can come up with something that, well, maybe not equivalent. 'Cause I'm not saying anything's equivalent, but you can satisfy a AAA game that'll satisfy that sort of player base that's exclusive to PlayStation. And
Right.
I don't look, regardless of the issues that Microsoft has had with Halo Infinite, people are still playing it,
Hmm.
and they're playing that competitive portion. And I've heard nothing but good things about the campaign. I mean, I haven't finished it myself, just myself, but overall, I hear the same things about Halo as I hear about Call of Duty. Nobody plays the campaign; it's
Multiplayer.
just the
Yeah.
multiplayer people care about. And so the same thing as something that Sony could. I'm not a designer, so I'm not gonna say very easily, but they have the resources to, and the IP, established IP, not just pulling something and making something new,
Right.
established, recognized gaming IP that gamers know that they could come up with a competitor
Hmm.
during the time that they sign that deal with Microsoft to keep Call of Duty on. Because this is
Right.
the way I feel about it right now, and I'm not a regulator. Right now, there is no reason for regulators to question Microsoft on this deal.
I mean, yes, yes. I mean, there's reason, but like, there's no like very, very clear like,
Well,
oh,
there's
the
always
reason.
reasons, but the
Yeah.
argument Sony's making is like so piss poor at the moment, especially
Right.
considering the deal with Valve statements as well as Nintendo, and no one else in the gaming industry has an issue with it except for Sony, and Sony's number one. It's not like
Yeah.
Sony's number four.
Hmm.
They will have a lot more weight to their argument. But when you're the market leader, and even if Call of Duty was taken off of your platform, you still would be like in the top 3 publishers.
And you will still be okay as a
Right, exactly.
brand
So
and as a company. I don't get it.
right. So that's the latest news. I'll be happy when this is over.
Very
Personally
happy.
speaking, I am not a Call of Duty fan,
Me
and when it
either.
drops in Game Pass, I won't be buying it. I'm looking for everything else from Activision that'll drop in Game Pass. That's what I'm
Right.
looking forward to.
You see, that's the thing that's like on me about it. I don't really care so much about Activision. Their claim to fame is Call of Duty.
Right.
And based on the reviews and reactions I've been getting from my friends who still play, and just overall amongst the gaming community across the internet, like Call of Duty is on icy. Well, yeah,
Right.
they on rocky grounds right now. They just announced that they were like gonna stop putting out 2 and 3 games a year and just
Right.
focus on one or go every other year. Like Call of Duty is in a reconstructive phase behind the scenes. I think I would be more concerned about Blizzard and all of the IP they have
I
over
agree.
there, because that content at least has some kind of longevity to it that could really spread out past 10 years. Like we just got Overwatch 2. So I mean,
This is
you
what
can
I'm
turn
worried
that
about,
in for
not worried
5 days.
about, but this is what I understand why
Mm-hmm.
Sony isn't talking about. So you're telling me that all you care about is Call of Duty, okay? But you're not even worried about the possibility of a new StarCraft, which is humongous in South Korea and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
New Diablo.
Right.
What else? New Crash. Like
Right.
all of those titles that could potentially be Microsoft exclusive. And again, they don't move the needle like a one Call of Duty. But if those are now exclusive to Microsoft and Microsoft, Xbox, and PC, that's a whole lot of gamers that you could potentially lose in a longer run compared to Call of Duty. Because I think those are franchises, especially like a Diablo. Those are franchises that have, I mean, you are talking about, I don't know when the first Diablo came out, but it's been a very long time.
Yeah, decades at this point.
You have people that are old and have old frosty beards that have been playing Diablo since they were like your age and younger at this point in time, if not in high school. I mean, that's how long the point and click, like there's so many IP there that could potentially be exclusive to Microsoft. And I'm like, y'all just worrying about Call of Duty? Really? Like that is your only concern. Like
Call of Duty, who
that's
is
that's a head scratcher.
Stay relevant by pushing the game onto Nintendo, even though it's confusing.
Could you imagine World of Warcraft ended up on Game Pass?
Right. Like, listen, especially right now, we have I guess this current gen Xbox right now going for what, like $250?
Yeah,
like they making this very
Series
affordable
S.
for gamers. Like, I wouldn't be concerned about Call of Duty. You got go pitch an offer to Battlefield and see if they will be like to join you and your crusade to be exclusive. And
EA, they like, yes, go exclusive. That means more money for us. And they said so. They would benefit from Call of Duty going exclusive to Microsoft. So no, they're not going to object. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why Sony's the only person objecting. It's not like they're going to lose that kind of money because it's going to stay on PlayStation.
And no, it's not that big deal.
I don't understand Sony, but
they cry babies.
Hopefully, yeah, you're right. They're crying about the wrong things. They exactly cry about the wrong things.
They don't care that y'all popularized Crash Bandicoot and Microsoft about to buy it from underneath your toenails. You don't care about that. You don't care about the potential of Spyro coming back.
Right.
Everything Naughty Dog has created. We want a new Jack and Daxter, and it's probably going to be exclusive. Well, not probably.
Oh no, that's Sony. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's Sony.
Either way, plenty of IP to be more concerned about than Call of Duty, especially when you have other shooters out there. Like, I don't know, be a dick about it. Go holler at the people who make Apex and be like, hey, do y'all want to do some kind of deal? Because
hey,
like, figure it out. Y'all got the bag, everything. Like, what's the problem?
Right.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Either way, gaming industry is gonna do what the gaming industry does.
That's true. So it'll be interesting. I hope this is over soon though, because I'm tired of hearing about it.
Got to be. I know the FCC is like another statement from Sony.
Right. Exactly.
Let's figure this out.
Right. Let's get into some new games. And there are a plethora of new unknown titles, unheard of titles for the most part this week, as far as I'm concerned. Probably you as well. I think they're looking at this list. There are two titles that I am, one I'm familiar with because I know of it. The other one is a spin-off of a popular RPG series that everybody knows of. So other than that, I knew nothing else on this. I'm like, oh, what is this? Yes. First up, we have Divine Knockout. This is on a PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, and PC. It's a fighting game. It's a fighting game with elements of a platform game made in style of like Super Smash Brothers. In Divine Knockout, or NKO. That's cute, by the way. We play characters from myth and legends who engage in fierce duels in a variety of arenas, and we are watching a trailer for that. That sounded interesting, so I'm like, I had to get the trailer for that. It sounded very, very interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting, especially because if I'm not mistaken, that is one of the free PlayStation games for December.
Oh, really? Okay,
I believe so. So they're making a big play to try to get this one.
Finally, they doing some day ones.
Yeah. Let's. Well, we'll watch the trailer later. I'm excited though.
All right, because Microsoft and Game Pass, they be doing day ones every month. big time games like our next game, Hello Neighbor 2 for the PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, PC, and is dropping day one on Game Pass. It's an adventure game now. I'm familiar with Hello Neighbor 1. I've never
Okay.
played it, but I heard nothing but good things about it. But in Hello Neighbor 2, it's a stealth horror game where you're stalked by a mysterious creature as you try to
Oh,
track down Mr. Peterson, who is your neighbor whose house you were invading in the first game, who has disappeared after the events of the first game.
mm,
Play against an advanced self-learning AI that tracks and adapts to your every move. I've heard nothing but good things about this series, especially with the AI and how adaptive it is.
mm.
It provides a very interesting and tenuous experience. I think I'm saying that correctly, or tension-filled experience.
Okay. Picking
And
up
we
the
are
trailer.
watching a trailer for that as well. I had to include that. I love the art style for that game too, as well.
Okay. Interested in seeing.
All right. Next up is the game that when I saw this and I looked at what it was, I'm like, oh, this is Brian's. It's right up Brian's alley. So this is Chain Echoes. This is coming out for PS4, 5, Xbox One, SX, Switch,
Okay.
and PC. And this is an RPG, but I knew you would love it because it's a 16-bit styled NSS style RPG set in a fantasy world where dragons are as common as piloted mech suits.
Oh
Follow
wow.
a group of hills as they explore land filled to the brim with charming characters, fantastic landscapes, and vicious foes. Can you bring peace to a continent where war has been waged for generations and betrayal lurks around every corner?
I hope so.
Right. And so we are watching Trail for this, and oddly enough, when I was doing some research on it, this actually started life as a Kickstarter. So this was a
Oh, okay.
Kickstarter back project that has now gotten publishing behind it. And because I looked up, and I think it got its flex goals to get it on the Switch and the PS4. So apparently, the publisher backed them to port it to everything else.
Oh, that's what's up. That's
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Really, really
And
good.
I think
That's
delivery was
also
last year, like a year ago this time. So I don't know if they pushed it back to get it to the other systems with the publisher, but yeah, that's the origin of this game. So I'm interested in really checking out the trailer.
me too. Do we know how like well, obviously they raised their goal. They got the
Yeah,
goal on
they did.
Kickstarter or whatever. Okay, so this is good. I think if publishers are willing to get behind it and put it on everything, that's probably a good sign for the game. So I'm
Right.
interested to check that trailer out.
Exactly. Next up, we have Crossfire Legion for PC. Now, when I saw this, I'm like, oh, is this another Crossfire derivative? Like, no, it's actually a real-time strategy game.
Oh,
So, Crossfire Legion is a real-time strategy game featuring tactical action and furious battles across a shattered version of the near future. Lead your customized army to victory on the proving grounds of a not-too-distant futuristic world consumed by corporate conflict. That sounds all too real. Like, that could
yeah.
really happen.
Yeah. Maybe this is what PlayStation is concerned about when it comes to
Maybe.
Microsoft.
Maybe. So we're not watching the trailer for that, but we are watching the trailer for the next game. And this game,
Okay.
when I read the description to you, you're like, yeah, we have to watch this trailer. This is the next game up is Choo-Choo Charles for PC. It's an action game. So Choo-Choo Charles from Two Star Games is a game about maintaining a train while using it to fight an evil, murderous, clown-faced spider train that wants to eat you. It's Stephen King's It meets Thomas the Tank Engine. And I said, oh, we gotta watch this trailer. I gotta find this.
What?
We gotta watch this.
Yeah. Stephen King's It, like the clown, and Thomas the Train. Okay,
Yes.
I'm interested.
This is one of those games where I say when I read the description, I say, y'all were clearly smoking something when y'all came up with the premise for this game.
Absolutely,
That was
as good developers should, especially
right,
if you do indie games. Like you got to be out the box. Like come with something
right,
that's really gonna hook people in.
right. That was some good whatever you were smoking. I gotta say, you come up
Probably
with that.
some related to spiders.
Right. So last but not least, Now, this game is part of a series that we all know of. Even if you are not into RPGs, you know of this RPG or this series. And this is Dragon Quest Treasures. And this is out exclusively for the Switch. Obviously, an RPG from Square Enix, of course. So in this game, you explore the childhood of the siblings Mia and Eric from Dragon Quest XI, echoes of an elusive age as they embark on an RPG treasure hunting adventure.
Okay.
So it's a prequel basically to Dragon Quest XI.
Right. Oh, that's interesting.
Right. Exactly.
Dragon Quest is a very, very big franchise, and it's one of those ones that's like people know it, but like I don't know.
It never hit that mass market like Final Fantasy did here in the
There you
States.
go.
And I think that's really what it is.
But it
Because I even remember
player base.
It was originally Dragon Warrior when it came out for the NES. I don't know why they didn't name it Dragon Quest. But there was actually, because I remember as a kid, there was an anime too that got showed on Western television that was based on the Dragon Quest video game, but it was titled Dragon Warrior, like the game. So it's a series that has been around for a very long time, but it has never found that mainstream success like Final Fantasy. Even with Final Fantasy, I'm like, I get why everybody loves 7. After that, I'm like, why? Why is this a big deal? Like seriously, like as far as like mass market conscience, like why is Final Fantasy a big deal now in comparison to 7 really introducing a lot of people to RPGs? Why not something like a Dragon Quest? You know, especially the way the last one for 11, where they had the art by Akira Toriyama. I think it's the guy who created Dragon Ball. You know, that seemed like something that was really tailored toward a larger audience. You know, it did well, but nobody talks about Dragon Quest.
Right.
Everybody talks. If you think about JRPGs, it's Final Fantasy.
Right.
So
I think Final Fantasy, I think it just was the stories, because like the games are not linear, if I'm not mistaken. Like each one has its own story,
yeah, they're different
characters and stuff. Some of them ended up having part 2s, and then along the way they started changing like the style of the game and how it plays. So I mean, they've been doing things to keep people interested, and it's been working. But Dragon Quest definitely needs its time to shine.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into some trailers. Let's watch our first trailer for the evening or the day or the afternoon, or whenever you're watching this. Let's check out DKO, aka Divine Knockout.
Oh, we could fly.
Eliminate your opponents.
Sword, check. My speed brings justice.
Let the purge commence. It is hammer time.
Hell hath no fury. Timing will always beat brute strength.
I'm the one with the
this art style, these character design is pretty cool.
Up and at them, chaps. No prisoners. Lightning, thunder, action. Obliteration.
Behold my radiance.
I will go break heads with hammer.
Defiantly I blaze on.
I got the brawn and the height. Sword in the stern. Eye of the storm. Let me be blood.
Oh, Snow, you don't.
You are that champion. Define knockout.
You know what? It's cute. Okay, let me back up. We're a couple years removed from Smash Bros. Ultimate, and now we're getting the inspired games, the higher quality inspired games that we just got. Multiverses. What else did we get not too long ago that was very similar to Smash?
Not Brawlhalla.
No, that's not new. That's been out, and that's like a two. I don't even count that because that's so. I mean, that could be a flash-based game the way it looks.
You talking
No
about?
disrespect to Brawlhalla. I think that the Rumble versus game, that's what I think of. That
Oh, okay.
yeah, that so you're getting these sort of AA, AAA Smash Brothers inspired games, and which is about the right time. It's been what 3 years or so after Smash Brothers Ultimate came out,
I mean,
or
yeah.
maybe a little bit longer. But yes, but I say all that to say this is actually a great premise because since they're using gods, there's so many different gods from different cultures. They don't have to pay anybody for licensing, and you can have different versions of the same. That's actually, from a creative standpoint, is quite brilliant.
Yeah, and I think I want to say I don't want to speak for the developers. I don't know them, but I would assume that they may have been inspired by what game is that also does like the gods and goddesses around the world? It's the Dota game. I can't think of it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know something. I'm not familiar, but I know what she's talking about.
Oh, damn. Paladins?
Okay, yes.
Not Paladins, the other one that's like the competitor, bigger one.
Okay.
Damn, I really can't think of the name of this game. Either way, you know what I'm saying, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, they did the same thing. They went, oh, all the characters are gods and goddesses and all kind of stuff. And they even do cool stuff like adding characters from like popular license, like Aang from Avatar, Nickelodeon's been in the game and stuff like that. Like,
right.
If they take that route, and I see like the changing of the fighting arenas or whatever, it kind of has that what's the name of the game? Knockout?
Yeah.
The one where you bounce the party game with the characters and
Fall Guys?
Yes, it kind of has the element to it where the levels have some kind of difficulty or something you need to work around in order to fight. Like, I think this is gonna be a fun like party game, just kicking with your friends.
I can see it definitely being a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Next up is a game that probably isn't going to be as a lot of fun, at least not in that regard.
There you go. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Oh.
Yes, Smite. All of the characters, they're different not Greek, but they're different gods and goddesses from all over the world.
Funny story about Smite.
Huh?
I said funny story about Smite.
Okay.
This is what, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Little people were really little. Fell asleep with the Xbox on.
Okay.
I wake up, look at my Hotmail Outlook account. I have a $99 charge.
$99.
Somebody was playing around on a joystick while I was sleeping and purchased a $99 game pack for Smite.
You got all the characters that day, didn't you?
All I'm saying is I called Microsoft immediately. Microsoft has great customer service, by the way. Excellent customer service. I got all my money back. All right, let's go with the next game, which is not going to be so fun. Choo-Choo Charles.
You sure? It might be.
Well, not in the same vein as
This is
what in the world? They were lying.
No, this is going to be fun. This is one of the arcade games that you play where you just, riding in the back, shooting things, hoping they don't catch your car.
Oh, it looks like some exploration as well.
Well, you can get out of the car. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Got a dog.
Stuff going on, a lot of sneaking. Is that a dragon? Uh-oh. Okay,
right.
If you actually want to win this fight, you'll need some serious firepower.
Is that so?
Now that you have those rockets and my launcher, all you need is a target.
Back to the spider.
Unless you want that train of yours to end up in my junkyard, you better get some upgrades.
upgrade the train. Yeah, and ran. Oh, you're being chased. You didn't make it. Choo-Choo Charles. Okay.
I have to say, I'm interested.
Are you?
They're like, this is not a game I would play or buy, but I'm looking at the premise. You have a lot of different pieces there, from resource gathering, sort of resource management, building up your train. So you have that simulation part there. You have that stealth, like you got a lot of parts of a lot of different genres, and then you have the big bad spider clown train that you're trying to kill. That it's interesting and definitely get your attention.
I agree. And those type of games, like, they do very well on Twitch. People enjoy watching, and
I'm thinking, this is a game I would watch straight up.
Which, by the way, I watched somebody play. What was the game we talked about last week? I can't think. We'll discuss it later.
Okay. So next up, we have the game I know Brian is probably going to love, and that's Chained Echoes.
The Echoes of the Chain. This reminds me of Harvest Moon. Just this little, the way it's okay. It's turn-based. I will like this. That's some turn-based strategy.
I like this. It's cool.
Okay. Obviously there's weapon upgrading. That's like rule number one with these kind of games. What animal is that?
Interesting little RPG.
A giant rat.
You always gotta have giant rats.
Well, yeah, I guess the dungeon crawler will be some rats in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's up my alley. I like
Yep.
games like this.
That's what I figured.
And is it coming to?
It's on everything.
Okay. See, perfect with a Switch. This is one of them road trip games.
Yep. All right. Last but not least, we have Hello Neighbor 2.
Rated everyone 10 and up.
Equal to Hello Neighbor 1. You took a photo shoot's worth of pictures, sir. Where's the press? Surveillance equipment.
So you're playing as the reporter?
I've seen the press badge on my shirt. Right, piano man.
So you're going to multiple people's houses now?
I'm assuming incident that took place in the city. You gotta break in everybody's house and do research. Don't play this game. They're not doing it.
what
is
in the
that?
world was that?
Okay, now we understand why he's trying to research.
Right. So I'm assuming the
that?
kid is missing. They're trying to find the kid.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's
Sounds
very
like
interesting. I am not creative, but like I am getting nervous just watching the trailer. So I can only imagine what it's like playing the game. It was like, oh, you're gonna go. It's it's like that stealth, like that Metal Gear stealth, but it's almost real worldish.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes, even though it's a very stylized cartoonish sort of setting, it's like I like you're hiding in, closets and whatnot, and trying to evade people trying to shoot you.
Right.
Outside of the weird demonic sort of thing that came after you at the end, everything else looks pretty commonplace.
Yeah. And it looks like there's an interesting story behind all of this stuff,
Yes.
because why is this member of the press breaking into all of these people's homes
Right.
to piece together whatever puzzle he's trying to piece together?
Right.
Either way,
Yeah.
this looks
And
like a
all
very
that.
interesting title to be involved in.
Right. All that, you have the detective story you're trying to piece together and figure out, I'm assuming, what happened to this little kid.
Right.
So sounds good to me. Sounds good. Now, Brian, what's going on with you this week?
Talk+Play blerdcast. I'm currently working on a new episode, reviewing Drake and 21 Savage's new project. Then we'll go back to a regular episode sometime after that. But that's pretty much it.
Got you. I'm still behind on the podcast. I just haven't done anything. However, the grown folks,
I understand.
right, Kuya P, we went to Exotica this past weekend.
I've been seeing the content, fellas.
Yes. So I got some great interviews with Avery Jane, Carmela Clutch, Nurse J. Becky, as well as the legend Rob Van Dam. So all of those are live on my YouTube channel, and that audio will eventually make its way over to the podcast at some point in time when I get off my behind. And all clips and stuff are on both the Sartorial Geek and, well, at least mostly WebsterStyle, only some on Sartorial Geek. But yeah, that's what's been going on there. Video editing. Kuya P understands all about the time it takes to get all that done.
Such a tedious process. I really want you guys to be thankful and grateful of everybody in the world who takes their time to edit a video for your viewing pleasure. That
audio's worse though. Audio editing is worse.
I agree.
It takes so much more time. That's why I haven't had a podcast come
out. I understand.
But that's all great. We are, and you are currently Nerds Rule the World. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at the NRW, on Instagram at New Release Wednesday. And of course, you're currently on YouTube. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Or you will face the wrath of the spider train. What's the name of it?
Choo-Choo Charles.
Choo-Choo Charles will get you.